Hey guys, welcome to another episode with Cosmic Energy Life. My name is Eva. I'm a psychic and tarot card reader. I'm also a cosmic energy healing teacher. And today I have a very special guest that is a motivational speaker. She's a life coach and a manifestation coach. She's very good at what she does. Her name is Alyssa. Hi, Alyssa. How are you doing
Hi,
today?
hello, good evening. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great, honey. Just this heat wave in California. Woo.
Isn't it lovely? We're crispy 100 degrees in. So thank you for being on my podcast. I'm so happy to have you here and I hope we can do a whole lot of episodes because you have such great point of view with certain problems that we're all facing on a daily basis. As a psychic, I do a lot of predictions. I've done a lot of celebrity predictions. I have my clients that, I coach, life coaching like you, and I help them heal. And I have lately, and it must be a World War I problem, I guess, but just like it's not a war, but like it's like first class problem
Right,
basically.
right,
To
right.
correct myself, but I'm noticing that is we're going to talk today about narcissism. I'm noticing there's a lot of narcissists that actually being
Mm,
uncovered,
yes,
and I have a lot of clients that are actually mostly the females, but I have also guys that are in like a hostile situation because when you're a narcissist, you are pretty much the alpha, whether you're male or female. When you
right.
are the submissive, you can also be male or female. But I'm seeing more and more patterns of this, and I want to go through the spiritual cause why this happens, or if there's a cure for a narcissist and how to deal with one. And that's where you come into play to talk about boundaries as a motivational speaker and what experience you have had in your life. And the reason why I choose the narcissist issues because it's just coming a lot lately. I have a lot that are passive aggressive, and then as long as you do what the other person, what the narcissist wants you to do, is
Right.
basically everything is fine. The minute you step out of it, then shit's on fire, basically. And narcissists are not always showing themselves. Sometimes they're very covered. Um,
Hmm.
out of my experience, there's a lot of people in power that are very selfish and narcissistic. And narcissism is a problem with the solar plexus. It's connected to the solar plexus, which is underneath your chest, above your navel, and that has to do with the ego. And the problem is they have either too much or too little, and they want to empower people. They need to be in power. They need to be in control. People need to follow them onto the guidelines. And it's not just like in government positions, it's also like in entertainment industry. Everyone with power, with money, and anybody who needs other people to follow and worship them, that happens a lot. So it doesn't even matter what political party you are. It's literally like
Right,
it can
right.
be anywhere and everywhere. And the clients that I have, the different kind of narcissists stages. And the one is like, as long as, for example, the wife does whatever the husband wants, she's going to be
Hmm.
fine, she's going to be cherished, worshipped, and she's going to be a queen. The minute she steps out, this passive aggressive behavior where like they put you down, they keep make you questioning yourself a lot.
Right,
And the narcissist needs the validation, and he feeds or she feeds off, they feed off other people's energy. So there is a cord attached to them. Now, narcissism is not completely possible to heal, as far as I understand. You can improve the condition, you cannot take it out, right? That's what they say. I pretty much believe that it's past life related.
right,
Sometimes I feel like it goes from lifetime to lifetime because we recycle. And it kind of feels like you take that over until to the next life. And then if you heal it, then you can get rid of it. And if not, you're going to repeat the whole cycle again, wash and rinse. So I've noticed when I work with narcissists, even if it's
hmm,
just for consultation, there's a difference to being selfish or an egoistic, but it is a hard difference like to being a narcissist because that's like a whole step up. And I noticed that they don't get along with me because you need to put them on the spot as a consultant. You need to tell them like what the problem is, and if they don't hear what they want to hear, then move on. So that's
right.
how you can spot first of all a narcissist if they don't like what you have to say.
The feedback, right? As far
Yes.
as the
Yes.
constructive criticism, right?
Yeah. So like w- um what I'm noticing is that when I heal my clients
Hmm.
and they come out of the submissive mode, because that's what they are. They're like basically the victims, and they have past life contracts, as in spiritual. When they grow out of it, it's becoming a very violent or hostile situation. So sometimes I need to work also on the narcissist to make things go smooth if there is ever a divorce or a separation. And this can be also even like in workspace. Have you?
Dealing with a coworker or a boss or
Yes,
someone that more
yes.
power superior than you. Okay.
Yeah. So I have written down a few things, a few notes where you can spot the narcissist, and you
Mhm.
can correct me if I'm wrong, or if you feel like there's anything you want to add to it because you have more experience with that as well, just like me. So a narcissist expects you to cater to them. Basically, you
Mhm.
put the work into the relationship. That's the one thing. So you need to be the submissive. So if there's two alphas, there can be only one when there's a narcissist. They don't forgive you. They give you a hard time because you doing it, it's like they feel like you doing them to disobey them. And that's another thing that I've noticed with narcissists. And it can be very subtle. It doesn't have to be very violent when they express themselves, right? So that's one thing that I've noticed.
It's
And
just start off with like a uneasy or not very upset, but more like unpleasant, or I don't.
yeah, like, why did you not do as I asked you to? That's how it
I got it.
starts. And then all of
Okay.
a sudden, when you do it over and over again and you
Yes.
disobeying an exclamation mark,
Right.
this is when it's like whipped cream. Let's go. So I've noticed that. I've, in the past, we've dated all. And in the past, when I've dated, I've noticed that with guys. And like, I never understood why like they broke off with me. I mean, it's not like I'm not submissive. I definitely, can be, but not to a narcissist because
Right, of
it's
course.
just unhealthy the way they want you to cater to them. Most of the times, like I said before, the solar plexus, aka the self-love, is not there. It's like an unbalance, and it's usually not really possible to heal it. I've seen people talking about it that narcissism can be healed, but it can be improved. It's never completely healed. They will always think about themselves first. And what I've also noticed is I had today a conversation with somebody when one of the family members is a narcissist, and let's say the daughter or the son is the submissive one, they tend to also marry somebody who's a narcissist, even if it's subtle and less more in your face than the parents. And they repeat the cycle. And I have clients that, tell me this, and I'm like, that's interesting. And I'm seeing this like when narcissistic parents take over and the kid is the submissive, or they become narcissistic as well, right?
The
It's
child.
inheritance.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's usually the unbalance of the solar plexus, which has the yellow crystals, or like it's a yellow color with the solar plexus, and you can heal.
Just right in the gut, right? Right in
Yeah,
the gut.
it's like here, like underneath the chest, above the navel. And the
Mhm.
problem is like you can try to do crystal healing because it's a yellow color, but it's not gonna do what it's supposed to. You really need healing. You need ancestral curse breaking almost. You need like to go deeper. As a cosmic energy healing teacher, I can fix that in time, but like I don't think you can get rid of the complete narcissism. You will still be selfish to some degree. You would need a lot of healing for that. That's what I've noticed. And I don't see narcissists coming to sessions either. It's usually the submissive one, the victim that needs to break free. And they don't understand how to put the boundaries up. So it's like a whole thing by itself. And I know, like, speaking of boundaries, like you told me earlier, there's certain boundaries you put up. Like, do you want to like indulge in that?
Yeah, so I when you said right now there's a parent that is a narcissist and they have a
Mhm.
child, the child. So I was the offspring of a narcissist who went to marry a narcissist. So I spent 18 years with my narcissistic husband. That developed a lot of boundaries that I've had to learn over the years just to
Wow.
deal with that many years. Okay. But at first, I didn't know what it was because I'm just going off based of familiarity, right? The trauma, whatever feels like dad. He looks like dad. He acts like dad. Wait a minute. He's too much like dad. This is too much. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you start to feel the pattern, like you said, it goes ancestral, it goes into the next lifetime because you don't cut it. The boundaries that I've learned dealing with my late husband was once they once you stop doing for them, you're done. You're already on the negative side of them. Once you already get on the negative side of a narcissist, they snap. everything
Yeah.
starts to bother them. You
Yeah.
can't misplace a napkin. You can't put something in the wrong space at home because everything bothers them. You can't look at them wrong because everything bothers them. But the number one thing I learned was they have a problem. It's not your problem. You're not an imperfect person
Yeah.
because you chose to do something different that day.
They
I've
manipulate. Yeah.
the manipulation, but I've also noticed that there's a little bit of repetitive. Once I started to break free of the patterns and putting up more hard boundaries with my husband, I noticed that there was triggers because I'm not in this repeat cycle. You know how people kind of fall in ruts or
Yeah.
routines?
Yeah.
Right. For a narcissist, that's a safe space because they know how it's going to go. They know how it's going to react. They know
Hmm.
how that's going to play out. They've been to this show. They've done this movie already. But the minute as, uh, what did you say? Beta or
Yeah. So the
what did
submissive
you
kind. Yeah. You're
the
the better.
submissive, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that's the word. So the submissive, once the submissive realizes that they're with the narcissist and they want to put up a hard boundary, they start to realize that everything that bothers the narcissist has nothing to do with them. That's the most liberating part of
It's
figuring out about
fantastic.
this
But
boundary.
yeah, it's a long way there.
Yeah, it's a long way there. Like I said, 18 years. So you don't realize you're starting to lose your
Yeah.
mind until you realize that they're the ones that had the problem the whole time. So part of it, practicing boundaries, a
Yeah.
hard boundary I should say, is prioritizing what you really want, what brings you happiness in your life. That would
Mhm.
be a hard boundary, something you're not going to compromise with. It has to be in place. There's no if, ands, or buts. This is a hard boundary. So whether it's your religion,
Yeah.
whether it's your beliefs. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I want to add something to that. There are narcissists that are abusive, not just in words, that like emotionally, but also physically. I've seen people coming into my office, online or in person back in the day, and some of them had really like physically abusive partners. So when they really like it doesn't go his way or her way, good luck.
So that would
Get
be a
beaten
hard
up.
boundary. No physical abuse. You have to stand by it. But if you are someone that suffers in your depression, you've
Yeah,
been with this narcissist for so long, you share a family, it's your parent, it's your boss, whatever it is, you have to have a firm belief that you are more than what this person is making you feel. You are important, you are loved, and you have to say, no, I'm not going to deal with this type of attitude. And you're wrong. So part
yeah.
of calling out the narcissist too is putting your hard boundary on. So you have to be able to have
Yeah.
the strength to say, yeah, not
Well,
a lot of
sometimes,
people are
yeah.
there yet.
Sometimes it leads to divorce, and sometimes it leads to restraining orders, and sometimes it leads in jail to jail, because love bombing is just one thing, especially when you start dating, or when you are in a relationship and the person, they usually don't show right away where they're coming from and who they are. They're very good in hiding things, I would say.
So
I've
that's where
noticed, at least.
right. And that's why I encourage men and women to really, when they're starting to date, especially in today's day and age with dating apps, things
Hmm.
like that, online dating, you should really, really trust your instincts. What are you feeling when you see this person? You look at them. What type of pictures are they putting up? If this is just an online type thing, read their bio, read in between the lines, go based on what you're seeing, because a lot of people are putting up a front and they are just saying what they want, you want to hear to get in there. And then once they
Yeah.
get in there, it's all, oh my God, he's so wonderful. Oh my God, he took me here. Oh my God, he did this. And then 2 weeks later, honeymoon's over. Oh my God, what do I
He's love
do?
bombing me.
He's love bombing me. I don't know what to do. He got mad because I didn't call him. He got mad because I didn't tell him where I was. All of a sudden, we have this crazy psycho. He's at the door, all because you didn't know how to say, hey, slow down. I just met you. This isn't what I want. This is not what I'm looking for at this time. Putting up those boundaries, not a wall, because people mistaken that. Talking about having
Yeah.
a level of respect where, part of committing to boundaries is having your head and your heart in it. That's part of it. Because if you don't believe
Yeah, as long as they realize that, because the victim stays a victim until the victim wakes up. Sometimes it takes a minute. I am really good at reading people at this point, right? I've been doing it like for, I mean, professionally for like 9 years, but with healing included probably 12. So I've been doing it for a while, like over a decade, and like sometimes it takes a minute to like realize, okay, that's a narcissist. They cover it very well these days because they need to have the victim, and they're usually always in a relationship. They can never stay alone, or they need
And
to
don't
have
you
people
think
that they
that
can abuse.
right, and then if they find someone that's looking for love, right? They find
Mhm.
somebody that's already in a little bit of a mentality where I want to find somebody, they'll cling to that, right?
Yeah, but
they'll
they
tell
also know when somebody's not submissive, and they kick you real fast.
is, is that
Just
from
saying.
experience? That's from experience.
Perhaps. Pretty much, pretty much. Like, there's certain questions they have. I've noticed they have certain questions. It's like almost like a
Interesting.
playbook, some of them, not all of them. And then you can tell they ask you certain things, and if you don't answer something where it looks like you're submissive, then
I've
they kick
learned
you.
certain manipulators ask questions, things like, "What would you do if you had $1 million?" Or certain things like that. Like they want to see where you're thinking.
They
It's
wanna
their way
see
of
if they
trying to
can
tap.
provide for you, because if they
That's
provide for
yeah.
you, they're gonna abuse you. In the dating profile, let's say I'm looking for a protector and, a provider, right? So they're gonna be like, "Oh,
Mhm.
she's that." Well, yeah, to the right person, but, like, I'm a Sigma, so I can go hot real fast. So,
We'll go either way. Either way.
yeah, either way, but, like, a Sigma is like you step up when you have to, otherwise you just stay in your lane because, like, I just don't care. I don't care. Peace and quiet, love and light, whatever it is. But like they want to have certain answers. So when they see, for example, you put down on your dating profile, I want a provider and protector, they're like, oh, she might be a victim. So like there's certain things that females put that they know they can go for that. And also when they talk, like if you talk back, if you have something to say controversial, you know what I mean? Like they want to be always right. They want to be the smart ones. They don't admit when they're wrong, for example, those kind of things.
But
Um,
is it controversial or being opinionated? Because some would
they don't want
say,
somebody opinionated the way they choose is
right,
they don't want somebody opinionated. That's why when they have certain questions and you talk back, they're like, okay, she's good or she's not good.
right,
If I would say, I don't know, I don't have an opinion and I'm just neutral or something, they know they can like manipulate because they need to dominate you, right?
right.
So those are
And
little
once you're
things.
no longer right, little things, what, honey?
Yeah, those are the things basically that they will put out. I know there's like a whole list of things, but like those are just some examples. They fish them out. They fish. I see people posting and saying like this is a narcissist because XYZ, love bombing, this, that. I mean, love bombing can be from anybody, even from a nice guy, and he's selfless. That doesn't matter, but like it's like the control, having to decide like we're going here, you need to wear this, you need to do that. That is very much like stay in your lane and you need to like obey to me.
So how when someone is setting a boundary, whether it's a soft boundary or a hard boundary with a narcissist, that's their husband, they want them forever, or even a parent, or like you said, a boss, somebody that they can't get away from immediately. It's
Yeah.
going to take time for them to process it.
Yeah.
How would you recommend they deal with these types of people?
Well, cord cutting is one thing that helps the fastest, and that can be
That
done
worked for me.
through, yes. So that can be done through candle magic, candle work, and that can be healing. And I know you do that as well. So
Right.
and I know you're very talented in what you do. And that's one way. And then there is the clearing with healing, which I do, and that shakes up the whole system, which also rewrites the contract basically. As in cosmic energy healing, because I work on all the chakras, I go back up to 7 past lives, so I can restore a whole lot on a deeper level. Because you do need to understand that you may have this person in next lifetime if you don't resolve it now. People don't understand. They think like, oh, I'm getting away this time. Yeah, what's with next life? Oh, there's no next life. Yeah, there is. There's a past life. There's a next life. Unless you're this old that you say like, okay, I'm not coming back to Earth. And that is not up to you. You have to be very spiritual for that. You wouldn't even date a narcissist if that was the case. So
Yes,
in
you would
order
have
for
known already.
yeah, exactly. So that's why in the beginning when I didn't know I was a healer, like I was attracting them because I was such a giver, right? I'm a people pleaser, I would say, but I've learned to just please the ones that I love. Like my love language is, spoiling somebody, being good to the person.
So good. Mhm.
And that is something for the narcissist. So selfish people, they love that. And I cut them all off. Even like almost 2 years ago, like 1.5 years ago plus, I cut the last narcissistic person off because it took me a long time to even understand. And it was just a friend. So like they will definitely make you feel uncomfortable, right? So like when you need to have a lot of strength to overcome this. So if you cannot do it by yourself, you need to have a coach or a healer or somebody that can help you, not just somebody who is just like, throws cards. You want
Right,
to go
right,
deep down in. So it can be candle work, it can be healing. And then, sometimes it's legal steps. It can be a restraining order if it's really going
right, right. If
shit
it gets
south.
that bad,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Um, there are, lawyers who can help with that, like, the law. But energetically, you need to do cord cutting. And if you are a healer and you are realizing you have to do that, you have to do a lot. It's not a one-time cut. So a lot of
So
feeling, just disconnecting from, also in general, from any narcissist, because you can leave the one narcissist and go to the next relationship. I'm noticing that too.
So that's why I wanted to jump in. So part of the healing, so even myself coming from a narcissist after 18 years, that's
Hmm.
almost 2 decades,
Yeah.
I've had to unlearn my thinking process. That's part of the healing. You have to
Yes.
unlearn the feeling of unworthiness,
Yeah.
the feeling that you're not good enough, the feeling that everything you did was a mistake, because that's what they do. They're very good at making sure you stay
Blaming.
down once
Hmm.
they have you down.
Never
Like I
the
said,
fault, is it now?
my husband was a narcissist. Even though he wasn't physically abusive, he was verbally abusive, and he would destroy things. So he would physically, hit things, and that's how his way of assorting his authority and making sure he knows I'm in charge. And I would have moments where I would laugh at him. But that also came after years of liberation and saying, "Hey, are you done being a kid? Are you done throwing a fit?" This is the worst things that you can tell a narcissist, because you're calling them out, you're making sure that they're being held accountable. Once you make a narcissist feel stupid, forget it. You you're
I
crossing.
know this is not funny, but
It's not funny because it can be dangerous.
mm,
It's not funny because it can be dangerous. But
this
in
is
my
when it
case,
goes to physical
this
abuse.
is where it gets very physical abuse. So anybody listening that's in a physical
Yeah.
relationship, the physically abusive relationship with the narcissist, don't test these. Okay, don't tell him he's throwing a fit like a little kid. Okay, don't do that. But at the same time, put your foot down and explain to them that this is not your fault, whatever the case may be. You're upset for whatever reason it may be. It has nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? Part of manifestation that I do is to always encourage people to rethink their process. So
Yeah.
slow it down.
Yeah.
Before you answer, think,
Hmm.
is this bringing any benefit to my life? Is this going to advance me to my next purpose? What is this doing for me? And if it doesn't do anything for you, don't do it. Let it go. You know what I mean? Water your own grass. That's been
Yeah.
my theme for this year. The balance and water your own grass. Well, feed whoever feeds your soul, because we're to the point where enough is enough. We don't have
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You have to move on from these relationships. I'm not talking to a few family members because they just crossed too many boundaries for me. I'm sorry, we're not doing that anymore. You have to have some self-respect for you. Does it come overnight? No. I'm 36. This is the first time I put a boundary at 36.
No.
Imagine all the people that don't even know that they can.
Listen, you're still early. There's
I
people who
know.
are like almost 50 and they have not put boundaries up. I'm seeing people in relationships they're like around, whatever age, the older than you, 10 years older plus, and like they have not drawn the boundaries because it took them a long time to wake up to it. And especially since COVID, because now we were forced to hang out with each other and get to know each other really well. And, day and night, like all of a sudden, there's so many divorces because all of a sudden the wife or the husband realizes, oh crap, there is narcissism going on. And like, we're not compatible. We're not even agreeing on anything. And again, as long as you agree to whatever they say, and behave a certain way, then you're fine. And if not, then they're gonna start the abuse. You know, um,
So let's
it's
dive
hard
into
to
that really quick.
retrain. It is hard to retrain
Yes.
people who have been the
Unlearn.
victim. Yeah, unlearn the victim is a lot of healing involved. Not just like coaching the way you do it, but plus the healing that you do as well. So you know, it's harsh
It, it's
reality.
gonna it's gonna take someone who, especially like me, who's been in it. If you don't have the mental capacity to say that this is not correct, and
Yeah.
you just believe that this is the life that it is,
Mhm.
then it's a lot more deeper. It's like you said, it's soul, it's
Mhm.
mind, it's everything. This can go years back into your ancestry line. It can go years back with this one soulmate, karmic partner, whoever this person is to you.
Yeah.
So if you are dealing with the narcissist, you don't know what to do, you need to start with prioritizing what you want,
Yeah.
because it's never going to come from what the narcissist wants. And some people say, oh, Alyssa, I don't know what to do. They're my whole world. Are they? There's
That's the
nothing
thing
else
though.
that you
That's
want?
yeah, that's the thing because they are so brainwashed that they don't understand. So when I do, for example, um the healings, I cut that naturally, all of it. And then if they need any life coaching or even like like a shrink or like a psychologist or, a life coach like you do an offer specifically for abused people, and then they learn to relearn. But it takes like a village to help them out, and some don't understand it because again they're going to walk into the same thing. Sometimes the narcissist comes like in different coats. Sometimes it's the wolf coat, like, and sometimes he or she looks like a sheep. So yeah.
And then also, they don't talk about the fact also that when living with the narcissist, it affects you physically.
Yeah.
You're sick,
Yeah.
your body
Because
hurts.
because energetically they're draining your energy, and
That's what I'm
are
saying.
always on low vibration. And this is why, again, when you do cord cutting, this is what starts healing it. And all of a sudden the narcissist is going to be like, where I'm going to feed from. And that's why when a lot of people are in the entertainment industry or like in government and they have people beneath them, they suck energy out of everyone. So it's good and bad, right?
But that also
So
justifies when people break up. Why, oh, I started a whole weight loss journey and I lost a bunch of weight, or oh, I broke up with my girlfriend and I started that business and da 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 da. Because you could clearly see that
yeah.
there was something holding you back from allowing you to advance yourself. You're literally shedding weight of this relationship because they're just
Yep.
sucking you
Yep.
dry.
And you keep telling the victim, like, this is what's happening. This is why you're not
Right.
successful. They're like, but what if? Like, they're like, no, how bad do you want change? How much do
Yes.
you want to get away from the situation? You don't get the
Yes.
job because you constantly get sucked out dry energetically by the other person. The other
Mhm.
person wishes up on you because he or she knows, like what you want. They manipulate your dreams. You don't need an enemy when you have a partner like this,
Oh,
or a coworker, or a friend. And
oof.
I've experienced like in romantic, I've experienced in personal, even in workplaces, the narcissism. So it's bad that it happened, but it's good because I learned how to like fight against it and like how to break the circle and the cycle. And I can heal from my perspective certain aspects, but the person needs to also want in. But yeah, they suck you dry and you look like you lifeless. And once you leave, all of a sudden everything opens up, unless
Glow
you go
up.
back to a narcissist.
And usually they do, though. That's another part that they don't want to
Yep.
talk about. They
Yep.
left one marriage, they left one narcissist just to jump into another one out of familiarity, because you haven't done your shadow work. You haven't delved deep why you got with the narcissist in the first place. I
Yep.
know now. He reminds me of my father. Oh, they're 2 days apart on their birthday. Who knew? Can we get it?
What's their sign? Both.
There was Aquarius, like the biggest narcissist.
Oh my God. So Aquarius, speaking of,
Yes.
A lot of females went bunkers on Aquarius men. I've dated Aquarius men, and intellectually we're great. Physically, I don't like them too much, but like that's just personal preference. We're fixed signs. I'm a Taurus, but like I've noticed with Aquarius, they're not 100% there, but they're really toxic. Like Cancer men are very toxic if they're not healed, and Aquarius men, if they're not healed, are very toxic. So
Right.
not every sign is a bad sign, but if they're unhealed, is a problem by itself. And Aquarius is
Yes.
very much into psychology because everything is brain and intellect. So guess what? Aquarius men, yeah.
Manipulation,
Mhm.
narcissist, mommy issues. Every Aquarius man I've met has a mommy wound. They just secretly hate women. They don't want to say it though.
But they love love, and it's funny
But
because you're
yeah,
Gemini, and you both are air signs. You're supposed to be compatible, which
yeah.
I actually disagree because I'm an Earth sign and I don't like Virgo men. Capricorn men are okay, but like I'm attract. Usually you're attracted to your Venus, to Venus more, or like your moon sign. And many times sun signs are not always compatible. But like it's interesting that you're Gemini. He was an Aquarius, and like you're still not compatible.
Yeah.
There was so much abuse. So I can only understand now more because Aquarius can go really psycho on you. They play games like no other. Like
And they
because
act
they
like
are
they don't have
smart.
feelings and nothing
Yeah,
bothers
yeah,
them, and they're very,
yeah,
very lights on nobody's home, but they're watching you. Don't think
yeah,
that they don't.
yeah.
Yes.
And usually they have you for a friend for a very long time, Aquarius, before they say like I want to be in a relationship. And when they are, it's just like it can go batshit crazy real quick. But unhealed Aquarius, I'm not saying all Aquarius men, but like unhealed Aquarius men can be like, especially in the department of intellect, this is how they feed off and, destroy you, kind of. So, yeah, when you heal, you do cord cutting. And in addition, I would always suggest doing life coaching for people to understand
I
what is,
think that's really most important too, along one
yeah,
too. So if you get the courage to get a healing and you get the courage to actually say, I don't want to do this anymore, you're going to have to train yourself to not go back, because everything in you is going to want to
yeah,
go back out of familiarity.
yeah,
You're literally breaking from your safe space, that cocoon that you're used to, even
yeah,
if it means being called every name in the book. If that's your safe space, that's what you know.
yeah.
So part of it is you have to consistently tell yourself this is not what you want.
I'm also realize, I mean, we realize that, but like people don't realize one healing is not going to fix that. That's a long-term.
Oh no. No,
So
no,
for
no, no.
all of you guys who are
This is a
listening, this
right.
is like work. It's not going to take one healing. It's not going to take 10. It might take a lot of healings because it depends how damaged you are. And we need to retrain you. We need to help you rethink everything and break free from the cycle of, dependency. Because, the submissive person is codependent and they do like the provider and protector status, which is nice, but it can be done differently. When a male is in his divine male masculinity
Masculine.
and
Hmm.
he's healed, it's just a whole different ball game. It can be very sexy when he still lets you do what you want to do. Usually those the divine masculine that are healed are sigmas. They're not necessarily alphas alone. Because the Sigma, again, he's going to be in his power when he needs to, and he has no problem letting the female take over power. If you need to dominate at all times, then it's problematic.
You have an unhealed man that needs some work,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just very important to have boundaries in all areas of life, whether it's work, love, family life. It's very important to prioritize your wants and your needs. I think the average people, especially in today's day, today's economy, today's work,
Yeah.
to 2024 in America is insane. Okay, people have to pick one thing and just focus on that. They don't have the capacity to focus on multiple things. As a healer, as an intuitive, you know that you don't get to focus on one thing because everything's coming at you 1,000 times at one time. So you learn to prioritize what is important. So
Yeah.
for me, my main focus for myself after coming out of an 18-year relationship from a narcissist
Hmm.
is my mental health and my children.
Yeah.
That's most important for me right now because mama needs to get her mind right in order to
Yeah.
take care of the children,
Yeah.
because I don't need to have narcissistic children because their father was narcissist. And I sometimes feel like learned behavior can turn into a disability of some sort, a mental disability or a mental, right?
Yeah. I think you're on your way as far as I'm seeing it energetically. So I would say you're gonna train them to be better and you're gonna teach them to be better. It's not about training but alone, but it's like teaching them to be better. And you might detect certain things that you will be able to catch and like have them relearn stuff. It's easier. It's not easier. It's easier to detect. I would say it's easier to detect if a narcissist is in a relationship when it comes to romantic matters. When it's a friend, takes sometimes a little longer. But every narcissist has pretty much similar, like same patterns. So like if you don't see it in a friend first, you will eventually, or at work, you will eventually. But I feel like when children are young, because they are the victims of the parents, sometimes they inherit it. So if the kid is a narcissist, it's going to be hard to break that. So needs a lot of healing. Can be fixed when they're younger, I think. When they're older, it's harder. And then, again, it takes a lot of healing. But it's amazing. It's just amazing how, and I feel like your children will heal energetically. That's what I'm seeing. I think you're gonna step it up, and I see you being a spokesperson, which you are already. But seeing you, stepping more into the light and like spreading the word of, how to or how not to. But your children are your first priority, but your children are your first example. They're your resume. So you
They are.
help them heal. Yeah,
Yeah,
because you help them heal. You know that's the best proof that you have.
that's good.
Yeah,
That's very good.
definitely. Well, I think that is all for today. We talked a little bit about, you know, in like enough about, narcissism and how to spot it. And if you guys want to heal, if you guys want to learn, Alyssa, give your address. I'm going to put it in the link in the podcast, but like tell us how to get a hold of you the best way.
You can find me on IG. I can go ahead and leave my name on the information area. And then you can also email me if you want to do any healings. I do candle work, manifestation work, and we can get you on your way towards the healing, even for your mind, too, if you are still in a narcissistic relationship and you have to deal with it. But just start setting boundaries for yourself and to make
Yeah.
yourself feel better about yourself because all a part of being able to walk away, like I said before, is being able to recognize that this is not what you want. This is not what
Yeah.
feeds your soul.
And what's your
So
email address again?
my email address is Alyssa, ALYSSA, Romo, ROMO 62 at yahoo.com.
And your IG would be your handle?
My IG is AROMO underscore 688.
Okay. So I will link that up. You will send me the information because you remember I forget things.
That's great. No, no, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you
I
for
love
being
the work
with
that
me.
you do. I love
Thank
everything
you.
that you do. You're so gifted, and we're so lucky to have someone like you to bless us with everything that you give.
Thank you. Right back at you. And if you want to get a healing or a reading with me, go to cosmicenergylife.com and you can schedule me as well. Whoever you are choosing, and you can choose both, we're here to help you. Just remember, it's a little bit of a journey, and we're here along to help you in our
Yes.
own
Don't
special
be
way. We
afraid.
appreciate you being a spokesperson. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, honey.
I
I
know you're going to
appreciate
have a
that.
lot of speeches coming up, so we're rooting for you, Alyssa. I hope
Thank
we
you,
can do
honey.
this soon again because this was
Yes,
really, really fun. Really fun.
yes. You're so
So
beautiful.
look at you. Look who's talking. Thank you. Thank you so much joining me this late hour. And this podcast will be available very shortly, hopefully this week, this time. I do have more
Yes.
time to edit it. And yeah, we'll be in touch and we will talk to you soon.
Good. Have a good evening. Thank you.